Ashe, Ma'at Hotep. This is The Truth May Hurt. My name is Raymond Witcher, and I am your host. Today is January the 2nd, 2026, and we just finished the holiday season. For the most part, most people are able to celebrate and enjoy it, but there are many people that this is a rough time of the year for them. A loss in the family, a death in the family, all kind of unfortunate things. They don't stop happening because it's the holiday season for a lot of unfortunate people. So we don't want to forget them in our celebration. A lot of people, this is also this time of the year and the season of the year that a lot of people commit suicide. A lot of people go into deep depression. A lot of people that have a substance abuse problems and addictions relapse right during this season. If you check the statistics during the holiday season, is the time of the year that more people go in rehab than any time of the year. That more people end up in psychiatric hospitals because of depressions and anxieties and these kind of things. So we don't want to forget them in our celebration. And going into the new year, if we have these kind of problems going on in our families, we don't want to ignore them. We want to go into this new year with more knowledge and wisdom than we did in 2025. And that's what this channel is all about. That's what I'm dedicated to. You know, life is a direct reference to time. Time is a direct reference to change. Now, change can be positive or change can be negative. So you have to take the horse by the tail, or however you want to say it, and make the change positive. Because when we can do that, we can overcome anything. All right. So I want to wish everyone a happy new year, and I want to wish everyone a prosperous new year. And I'm going to show you some things today that are going to be challenging to you, but I want you to keep an open mind. I don't want you to harden your heart. I want you to just listen to what I'm showing you and tell me where I'm wrong. Show me where I'm wrong. Without your passions, your feelings, and your emotions. And remember one thing, you cannot use the Bible to qualify the Bible. And I'm going to show you some things. I'm really going to try to do 3 videos tonight. I was talking with a friend yesterday about spirituality, spiritual frequencies, and how we have been placed in a very low frequency, a very low vibration that we can't communicate. That's not where we are supposed to be. So I'm going to redo a video that one of the first videos I did called Spirituality, Frequency, and Vibration, because it was one of the first videos I did. And the music tracks that I laid in, I'm not happy with them. Move, Cash. My dog wants attention. No, go. So I'm going to redo that video because it is very important to understand how frequency, vibration, and atmosphere play into our spirituality. Okay, so it's been a long time since I did the 2 circles. And because this is the new year, I want to start the new year off with, first of all, explaining what this circle means. Okay, inside this circle is my realm of understanding. Everything that I think and believe I know is within the circumference of this circle. I must realize that there is much more outside my circle, realm of understanding, and limited knowledge, so I can learn and expand my realm of consciousness. I can't limit myself to believe I know all that there is to know based only on my limited realm of understanding. Instead of getting mad at me, get smart, prove me wrong without your feelings, passions, and emotions. I'll show evidence and you show yours. And I'll show evidence and you show your evidence. Show your evidence and I'll show mine. Deal? Ashe, hotel, hotel. Remember, you can't use the Bible to qualify the Bible. If the only thing that qualifies the Bible, it's not qualified. It's just not. Okay? It's not. Okay? And I'm going to show you I'm going to show you some things, okay? I want to go down to this slide here. I'm going to minimize myself because I need you to understand a few things here. Okay. I'll blow this up so we can see it. Okay. This is the first of the year. And it's important to me, and I hope it'll be important to you. And you'll understand why, hopefully, that we recognize our ancestors. Okay? Because we are the total accumulation of every ancestor that came before us. It's just, this is our turn to walk here in the human form. We've always been here in the spiritual form, and I'm going to show you in this circle. But it's just our turn here to walk the earth, to caretake for the earth, to try to bring forth the truth and expose the lies, okay? So, I'm gonna read the circle to you first, and then I want to read over here, okay? Because it's important for us to call our ancestors' names. It's important for us to acknowledge them in every way, because we are them. This is what they broke. They broke our ancestral chain through slavery and oppression. But they only broke one link in the chain. So if you put that one link back in the chain, now you're back in frequency with your ancestors, okay? Okay, the majority of people with mental illness, addiction, thinking of or committing suicide, feel they are all alone in this world, and that's a lie. We are just taught wrong. Christianity teaches that we should separate ourselves from the dead, have no relationship or connections with the dead. Do you really believe that your mom, dad, grandparents, and all of these ancestors that it took for us to be here are going to do you harm, lead us in the wrong direction once their spirit leaves their body? Our Creator God assigned it to. Do you now believe their spirits are now the boogie spirit that wants to destroy us? Isn't that what Christianity teaches? Disconnect ourselves from our deceased ancestors. Remember who forced this Bible and religion on us, okay? If one of our ancestors in this circle didn't live, not one of us would have been chosen to be here. We would have never been born. And we don't believe we are very special. We believe we are all alone because we're taught wrong, because we trusted the wrong people, our colonizers, oppressors, and enslavers. Do you believe God can answer slaves' prayers for freedom and the slave masters' prayers for more slaves, and that one God answer both their prayers? Well, which prayers has God answered? One of the laws of the goddess Ma'at is, I have not dishonored my ancestors. How can we say that we haven't dishonored our ancestors, them, when every Sunday we're in church screaming, shouting how good Jesus is to you, after this same Jesus has beaten it into our ancestors? Okay. Christianity was never a choice. Christianity was forced on everybody, not just black people, the white Europeans and everybody. Okay, let me read over here because I don't want to lose this. So the connection with our ancestors is most important. I'm going to show you something. Hold on for a second. Now, let me do this first, then I'll come back. Okay, so we have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, grandparents, 16 great-grandparents, 32 great-great-great-grandparents, 64 great-great-great-great, 128 great-great-great-great-great. And if you do this equation down for 20 generations, for 500 years, you have 1,450,000 some ancestors that it took to make you, that it took to make me. That's only if you go back 500 years. What about if we went back 5,000 years? You can't count how many ancestors that it took to make us. Okay, let me show you this now. Okay, that it took to make us. Okay. Okay, so when I'm talking about frequencies, when I'm talking about atmosphere and vibration, and why it's important, and the most important thing in spirituality, and it's push it aside in religion. I don't care if it's Christianity, I don't care if it's Islam, I don't care if it's Judaism, I don't care if it's Hindu. Spirituality has got to get out of the way for religion to work. Why it is important. Let me come back here. Why it is important. Why it is so important to acknowledge this ancestral chain. And why it is important to realign your frequency on the right scale is because all of the knowledge, the wisdom, and experience that our ancestors had is supposed to be transferred up to you. It's supposed, that knowledge, that wisdom. So in the Bible where it says that don't eat from the tree of knowledge, the reason is because they're trying to separate you from the knowledge and the wisdom of your ancestors. It's leading you astray, not the right way. Okay, so I want to show you this. Okay, so when we're talking about, I gotta pull it up. Okay, brothers and sisters. So what they separated us from is actually the Akashic records. The Akashic records are a mystical, non-physical library database containing a complete record of every soul's experience, events, thoughts, and emotions from the past, present, and future existing in a plane beyond human senses, often described as the ether or aether. For the Sanskrit world of Askia, believed to be accessible through deep meditation or spiritual practices, they serve as a universal memory bank for all life, offering insights into one's soul journey and the interconnectedness of all things. This is why they had to separate us from our genetic tree. They had to bring us out of alignment with our genetic frequencies, vibrations, and atmosphere. I'm going to show you which video it is. Spiritual frequencies, vibrations, and spirituality. This is what slavery colonization was all about. Erasing everything. We can get this back. We can get the Akashic records back. Once you have that, look at what it says. Key aspects of Akashic records. It's a universal library, a vast energetic repository of all universal events, thoughts, world events, emotions, for everything. Our soul's journey contains a complete history of potential of each individual soul, including past lives and future possibilities. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. I wish I could just transfer what I've learned in the last 11 years. Okay? This is science. This isn't, just folklore. Okay, non-physical realm, stored for non-physical dimensions, making them a sacred, private, and deeply personal space. Yeah. Accessibility through meditation, introspection, or spiritual guidance, often described as of life or God's book of remembrance. This is what they have to separate us from. See, when they separate us from our ancestors and they change our spiritual frequencies, vibration, and atmosphere, they've separated us from God. You are now dependent on a preacher, a pastor, a pope, a rabbi, a minister, somebody to tell you about God. God never made you to be dependent on another person outside your family. The ones that are going to bring the child up in a real world, not putting the child in a psychosis. And the definition of psychosis is no longer in touch with reality. Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, from time a child is born and sees a white picture of Jesus Christ on the wall, he's outside of reality. Okay, Akashic Records. I'm going to do a video on this. Well, no, I'm going to add this in to the video that I'm going to do after this: spirituality, frequency, and vibration. Okay, but I needed to show you why it is important to recognize your ancestors, to realize you are never alone. Okay, they want you to feel alone. They want you to feel separated from. It's more important to be in concert with your ancestors and separate yourself from people that don't understand what spirituality is. Because they're always going to be judging you and telling you that you're going to hell where there is no hell. I'm not going to go somewhere that there is no such thing. Okay, I'm going to show you these things. I don't want to break away from this presentation, so let's get into it. All right, we're gonna get this going. Now, remember. Okay, remember now. I'm gonna do my best not to laugh because I'm not trying to make fun of this, but it's gonna be kind of trying, because the question is, what do Christians really believe? They cherry pick. Okay, and I'm going to show you why I say this. I'm gonna pause for a second so I can show you something. Okay, so see, the Bible now, you have to keep it in the context and of which the Bible is portrayed, proclaimed, and sold. It is portrayed and proclaimed and sold as infallible, perfectly written, and error-free. And it's advertised as you can literally take this book word for word as true and historical, right? Don't change the definitions when I'm showing you the things that I'm showing you. Hold on to that, because I worked in quality assurance 27 years. You're not going to tell me what the requirements are, what the specifications are, and then when I show you that you just broke the rules, you're going to tell me I'm wrong. I'm going to tell you that this is rejected. Go back and do it again. So now, go back and tell the Catholic Church to fix it. Now, don't tell them that, because they'll go back knowing that the next 2 generations won't know the difference, because they don't keep track of their changes. But watch this. So, what do Christians really believe? Genesis has talking snakes, has a talking snake. You believe snakes can talk, because this is supposed to be true. And Numbers has a talking donkey. Do you believe snakes and donkeys can talk? What about unicorns? Do you believe they exist? Now, hold on. Well, hold on. I thought the Bible is supposed to be God's unchanging word, but it's clear they change words all at will. Look at the original verses saying unicorn, that they later changed to say wild ox. In later versions, because everyone knows unicorns are like Santa Claus and never existed like Jesus Christ. Now I'm going to show you. Now, before we go there, the Bible also talks about dragons. Okay? So, you believe in unicorns. What is a unicorn? A mythical animal, typically represented as a horse with a single straight horn projecting from its forehead, something that is highly desirable but difficult to find or obtain. An album like this is something of a unicorn. It tells you in the definition of unicorn, first thing it says is a mythical animal. The Bible is portraying it, before they changed it to a wild ox, as historical. Okay, what about dragons? Do you believe in dragons? The Bible says dragons were thrown out of heaven. The dragon is a mythical, legendary creature that appears in folklore. See, the Bible is folklore. It says dragons appear in folklore. Multiple cultures worldwide, loosely defined by scholars as originating in a snake or something more. Mythical monster, okay. A mythical monster resembling a giant reptile, sometimes shown as having wings. In European tradition, the dragon is typically fire-breathing and tends to symbolize chaos or evil. Whereas in East Asia, it is usually a beneficial symbol of fertility associated with water or the heavens, another term for flying lizard. You gotta forgive me. I'm not trying to, well, I can't help it. But I want you to understand what I'm trying to show you and why I'm showing you this. Because people will tell you, I believe everything in the Bible. No, you don't. Because when I show you this, you'll get mad at me. Well, it's not terminal. You'll live. You'll survive. Getting mad at me, hating me, disliking me. It's not terminal. It's not going to kill me. It's not going to kill you. All right. Yes, the King James Version of the Bible mentions unicorns in several verses, but modern translations usually change the words to wild ox or oxen. As the original Hebrew realm likely refers to a powerful, extinct wild ox or similar strong horned animal, not the mythical horse with the single horn. Key verses mention unicorns in the King James Version include Job, chapter 39, verses 9 and 10, Psalms, chapter 29, verse 6, Psalms, chapter 92, verse 10, Numbers, chapter 23, verse 22, Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 17, and Isaiah, chapter 37, verse 7. All describe a strong, untamable creature. Numbers 22, verses 27 and 28. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, it lay down under balm, and he was angry and beat it with his staff. Then the Lord opened the donkey's mouth. Now, who opened the donkey's mouth? Who opened the donkey's mouth? The Lord opened the donkey's mouth and said to them, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" And donkey talk. You believe donkeys talk? The Lord opened the donkey's mouth, and it said, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" You got a talking snake, you got a talking donkey, you got dragons, it's a unicorn. And this is historical. Not supposed to have any questions, not supposed to have any problems. Now, I can prove that the Bible is infallible. I can prove it's perfectly written, and I can prove it's error-free as long as you don't ask questions. It works. It is. But as soon as you read something like this, and you ask a question, it's going to fall apart. You don't want to ask questions. You cherry picking. I don't like that. I don't believe that. Well, you know, the other thing that the Bible is sold on, that believers have to believe everything in the Bible. Hold on. You know, we've all heard you got to take the Bible literally, you got to take it historically, and Christians will tell you these things happen. Well, if you believe these things happen, you have to believe that a donkey talked. You have to believe that a unicorn with a rod sticking out of his head is real. You have to believe fire, breathing dragons were in heaven and cast it down to earth. So dragons should be here somewhere. There should be skeletons of dragons and unicorns somewhere. Okay? King James verse, modern translations and parentheses, Jacob 39 verses 9 and 10. Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or by thy crib casteth thou bind the unicorn with the band in the furrow, or will he harrow the valley after thee? See, they changed it to wild ox. The King James Version changed unicorn. You see here. The King James Version changed unicorn to wild ox because they know how crazy it sounded. Okay, so don't tell me the Bible is God's unchanging word, because it's not. They changed unicorn to ox. They should have changed dragon too. I know dragons. All right. Oh, this is, I gotta minimize. This is cutting off the page. Okay, let me go back for a second. I got everything in, okay. All right, Numbers chapter 23, verse 22. God brought them out of Egypt. It were the strength of an unicorn. And then here again, the NIV changed unicorn to oxen. Okay, so you can't tell me it didn't. The Bible doesn't change. Okay, Deuteronomy 33:17. His glory is like the firstling of his bullock, and his horns are like the horns of unicorns. With them he shall push the people to the ends of the earth. Then when the NIV came out, again, they changed unicorns to wild oxen. Okay? So people cannot stand on the Bible is God's unchanging word. Psalms 29, verse 6. He maketh them also to skip like a calf, Lebanon and Syrian like a young unicorn. Again, in the NIV. And you can look these up. You change it from unicorn to wild ox. All you have to do is pull up the Bible Hub, and it'll show you what it says in the King James Version. Matter of fact, hold on. No, I don't want to do that now. It'll take up too much time, and I don't want to make this too long. I'm at 25 minutes. Isaiah 34:7, and the unicorn shall come down with them and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood. They changed it from unicorns to wild oxen again. Okay, I'm just showing you these things, all right? Okay, though some traditions see it as Satan possessing a real animal or as a literal magical creature in Eden, with different views, seeing it as a symbol of chaos, wisdom, a figure of speech for evil impulses, or a historical reality before the fall changed animals. Most agree it represents something that leads humanity away from God, but opinions vary on whether it's a literary device, Satan, or a transformed original animal. Wow. They made it up. You don't have to waste a lot of time figuring this out. It was all made up. Okay? So when the Bible becomes God's unchanging word, when did the Bible become God's unchanging words? After they made these changes? As long as we aren't teaching our children these changes, will go unchecked, because no one will be alive who knows what they did. Okay? Okay? We talked about, do you believe in dragons? All right? Revelations 12:9. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Revelations 20. Do you believe in dragons? Now, where was he hurled down from? The dragon was in heaven. Now, well, I don't want to do that here. Well, yes, I will. I think as we read Isaiah chapter 14, verse 12, in Revelations, when Jesus is going to the church saying that I am the bright morning star, you'll find out that the description of Jesus is described to have red eyes like fire and these kind of things. The same thing that a dragon has. Just want to throw that in, all right? Revelations 20, chapter 2. He sees the dragon, that ancient serpent, who is the devil or Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. Again, he sees the dragon. The beast I saw resembled the leopard, but here it is. I think it is. Okay. Leopard, but had feet like those of a bear and the mouth of a lion. The dragon gave okay, this is, yeah, okay. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. Now wait. This is when they're talking about the dragon. They had the feet of the bear, the mouth of the lion, the feet of a leopard, but had resembled a leopard, but had the feet of those of a bear, the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power. It's talking about the government that's going to rule the world. Okay? And that's how the devil is going to rule the world, through the government. And that's why they're having a new world order. And that's why they're having a new world religion right now. Okay? But when you go, hold on, let me show you. Okay, I want you to remember that every 2,160 years, the astrology changes. Each zodiac sign lasts 2,160 years. So every 2,160 years, there has to be a new world order, and they try to establish a new world religion. If you go back and watch my videos on the Peso family, There's 2 videos on the peso family. Every 2,160 years, they start losing control of their slaves, of their workers, of their working force. So they have to give them, they start to rebel and they start killing their masters. So they have to come up with a new religion, a new belief system. And it happens. So where we are right now, the end of Pisces ended, we're in the age of Aquarius now, and there's a transition period of a few hundred years to establish this new government, this new system. It takes a few generations to get this thing established so that they can erase what they need to erase and put in place what they need to put in place. You got to remember, now, the Bible isn't a worthless, useless book. It tells a story, but it's a little book. The 7 deadly sins. Okay, the 7 deadly sins, and I want to go over this just for a minute. The 7 deadly sins are pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth. Okay? What makes these the 7 deadly sins? None of them can be satisfied. Not one of these can be satisfied. And when it comes to the New World Order and the modifications that they need to make, going out of one astrology age into the next astrology age, is greed. Greed can never be satisfied. Pride can never. That's where we are right now. Greed, pride, lust. Lust, it doesn't matter whether it's sex, money, lust, power, money, lust. Lust can be anything that you have gluttony for, meaning you can't get enough of it. That's where we are in the world. We are in this transition period. Envy. The United States is looking at other countries saying, hey, I want that. That's envy. You don't deserve it. We deserve it. It's in our how do they say it? National best interest. Envy, gluttony, wrath. Mama, I gotta pay you back, man. I'm not turning the other cheek. If you do this to us, you're not the only people that can do things to people. Okay? Sloth. That's what slavery was all about. I don't want to work. I'm gonna make you work. Okay, you can come back and read these things. Okay, but I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just wanted to bring you in to show you the Bible has a lot of things in it that are very valuable. But if you're being taught wrong and you can't apply it the right way, it's meaningless. If you're just being taught that you don't have to do anything, as long as you accept Jesus Christ as your Savior, He's going to fix it. Right. Ask your ancestors about that. You don't have to ask your ancestors, ask yourself. Okay? You give Jesus Christ the credit for the hard work you have done to bring yourself out of a situation. You know, you've done great if you become successful, but Jesus Christ didn't have anything to do with it. Now, I don't care if you didn't finish first grade. I'm gonna ask you a question. If the letter J did not become an alphabet until 1524, how could there have been a son of God named Jesus during biblical times? Okay, so even if you didn't go to school, common sense. Look here. The letter J was invented for the Italian language by the man called Galliano Gierigo in the year 1524. if the letter J didn't exist between 1524, here's the question. Could there have been a Jesus, a Joseph, John, James, Jeremiah, Jerusalem, Jericho? Could it have been any of these biblical places or biblical people during biblical times if the letter J wasn't invented until 1524? Now, people are going to say, well, it doesn't matter. It changed the names. You're not, the code for academic excellence says you're never supposed to change biblical names. You can translate everything else, but you're never supposed to change or translate biblical names. Keep it simple. Keep it very simple. Okay? Keep it very simple. Why is it so important to have changed these names? Hellenization. To erase everything that has an implication that it had anything to do with black people, or blackness. Hellenization, I'm going to tell you and I'm going to show you. Hellenization is removing one ethnic group of people's VIPs. Your VIPs are your values, your interests, and your principles. Those three things are what makes you you. Your values, your interests, and your principles. So they erase all of your VIPs and they implement all of their VIPs to the point that now you think like them, you want to be like them, and when it comes to making a rational decision, you'll make a decision that is in their best interest before it's yours. It's also associated with Stockholm Syndrome. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so we talked about the bear, the leper. Revelation 16:13, I saw 3 impure spirits that look like frogs. They came out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Wow. Got frogs. Got a lot of stuff here, baby. Verses about dragons and unicorns are allegories and metaphors. Frogs, all of those things. You gotta really make up a lot of stuff, man. And here's the deal. The only place you're gonna find these kind of things is the Bible, folklore, and fairy tales. Now, here's something else you need to understand. How does the Bible start off? The Bible starts off with, in the beginning. Look up, how do fairy tales and stories start off? Once upon a time, and in the beginning. Okay, just showing you. Don't get mad at me. If you do, it's not terminal. You'll be okay. Blood pressure might go up, take a pill. All right, but I didn't write this. Now, if you mad at me because I don't believe it, it's because I woke up. You know, I have a friend tells me, Ray, you know what your problem is? You don't want to believe anymore. No. My problem is I know my Creator never made me to believe. God dang it. Didn't have my external microphone hooked up. I don't know how this volume is going to come out. I'm going to go on and finish this, and I hope I don't have to redo it again. But God never made us to believe. You know, you can't stay in this psychosis that they put us under just to say I believe. Believing is one of the most irresponsible and detrimental things that we can find ourselves doing. You know, you believe somebody loves you, but they've never shown you anything to make you feel that way. They've never done anything to make you feel special. You know, what makes you feel they love you? Because you believe it? This belief thing is dangerous. If a person loves you, they should never have to tell you because they show you. If a person, if you can trust a person should never have to tell you, you can trust me. Man, it's a red flag. So I'm just showing you, I'm just telling you, I didn't write these things. Okay. I think we're getting ready to finish this up. Okay. The Council of Chalcedon happened in 1451. The Council of Nicaea was in 325 AD. This is when they decided that they were going to make up this character, Yahshua, who later became Jesus, as the Son of God, divine, and they had all of these meetings and they voted on it. So from 325 AD until 451 AD, so 325, so that's 320 years or so. 120 years or so, 325, 425. That's 120 some years. They started writing their Gospels and all of the New Testament for 125 years. Then the Council of Chalcedon, the most important of all the sessions, was the fifth, held October the 22nd. In this, the bishops published a decree concerning Christian faith, which must be considered as the specific dogmatic decree of the Fourth General Council. Okay, so they had put together in the Council of Chalcedon, that's when they said, we have put together enough doctrine and dogma to start a religion, the Christian religion, to start Christianity as a faith and belief system. Okay, so after approving the decree and symbols of the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, the Council of Constantinople of 381 AD, and the Council of Ephesus in 431, as well as the teaching of Saint Cyril against Nestorius and the dogmatic epistles of Pope Leo I, the document in question declares, we teach one and the same Christ, Son, Lord, only begotten, known in two natures. Let me stop right here for a second. Hold on. In two natures, where am I, right? In two natures. See, this is what the Council of Nicaea and all of these things were. When they were having disputes whether Jesus Christ was divine, whether he was begotten, whether he had one nature or two natures. So this is what they're saying right here, is that he was the only begotten, that, okay, this is what they're saying now. Now we have established in this last 125 years that now we agree. That we agree. And the question declares, we teach from this day forward, we're going to teach that Jesus Christ, one and the same, Christ, Son, Lord, only begotten, known, two natures, known in two natures, without confusion, without change, without division, without separation. After the recitation of the decree, all the bishops proclaimed that such was the true faith. Okay, now you see here, all the way up to here, all the bishops weren't proclaiming this is the true faith. For 125 years, they argued about it. Those that went against it were anathematized, which means they were expelled and thrown out. They were cursed. They put a curse on them, and they wish they were dead. They hope somebody kill them. Okay, so now they're saying that now we agree that such things are the truth, and that all should at once sign their names to it. You got to understand here, they made them swear at the Council of Chalcedon. They made every bishop sign a decree that they swore that they would never teach, preach, or even write down anything that goes against what the Catholic Church is putting out right here, starting at 451 AD. You see here, they made them sign, they made should and that all should at once sign their names to it. Okay? They also made them sign their names to a decree that said that no bishop shall teach, preach, write down anything that goes against this doctrine, and that they will not help anyone that goes outside of this doctrine find the truth. In other words, when they start teaching this and people start going against it, you're going to expel them. Okay, you're going to go against them. You're not going to help anyone find out that they made all of this stuff up here up. Okay. The Imperial Commissioner announced that they will communicate to the Emperor and decree as approved by all the bishops. This Sixth Commission, October the 25th, was celebrated with special solemnities. Marsharen and I can't pronounce that were present with a great attendance with all the Emperor Commission and the Senate. Okay, so they made them swear to these things, and then they ended it with the Emperor made an appropriate address. The decree of faith made in the preceding session was read again and approved by the Emperor, and with joyful acclamation to the Emperor and to the Empress, in which they were compared to Constantine and Helena. The proceedings were closed. Okay, now, after they did this, for the next 1,000 years, starting in the year 500 AD to 1500, they went around killing everybody that didn't accept this. So don't tell me how it's free will to believe what you want to believe. They beat it into your head, into your ancestors, till you didn't have a choice. When they broke that ancestral chain and that link where all of that information could be transferred from your ancestors to you, you lost that knowledge and that wisdom. They separated you from the tree of knowledge, and they separated you away from the tree of life, so that you don't understand that when they did that to your ancestors, they did it to you. When the first creations of God were created, you were born then. You just weren't present because you had to go through all of this. You had to go through all of this to get here. You needed all of these ancestors to make you. Okay? You needed them all. Okay? To get here. Okay? But you were here. Genetically, you were here. You were here when your ancestors were here. You were here genetically when the first humans were created. You were here. You were here when your ancestors were captured and made slaves and oppressed. You were here. You were just going through this ancestral chain to be the human being that represents all of them. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to show you. That we need to realize there is more to know than what's inside this little circle that they put me in. When I pull this circle back, I can see there's more outside the circle than inside the circle. It would be foolish for me to let someone make me believe that all I need to know is inside this circle. It's just unwise to let someone make me believe, or for us to have allowed our oppressors and enslavers make us believe that everything I need to know is inside this Bible. And if you go outside of this Bible, you're going to get in trouble. And if you go outside of this Bible, you're going to go to hell and burn on a fire. Well, let me tell you something. They made it up. Even if hell was real, what are you going to have to burn on a fire? You know, the Bible says that, if you do what's in this book, you're going to go to heaven. And guess what? God and Jesus are up there building you a mansion right now. And if you don't do what they say, they're going to burn you up in a fire. But if you do what's in this book, you're going to live in a mansion. And they're up there right now paving the streets with gold. If you do what's inside this book, you're going to have streets paved with gold. But you're not going to have any feet to walk around on. You're not going to have any skin or flesh. You're not going to have any eyes to see it. You're not going to have a body to live in a mansion or a bed or need a bed to sleep in. See, you got to understand the psychology that's going on here. The psychology is they have to give you an image of something that you love in your human experience. That's going to be a part of your reward when you get to heaven. Now let me show you how crazy these people are. And they do it in all of their religions. The Islam and the Muslims are told that if you die as a martyr for Islam, when you go to heaven, you're going to get 100 virgins. You're going to get 100 virgins, man. 100 virgins just for you to do what with? Well, what good are 100 virgins going to do you and you don't have a body? You can't have sex. See, that's the psychology. Because when you tell a man, if you go over there and you do these things for Allah, Jesus Christ, or whoever, you're going to get a reward. You're going to get 100 virgins. That man, the psychology of him is thinking sex. He's thinking pleasure. He's thinking of an experience of a human. It's a psychology game, and they're good at it. They understand the psychology of it, and you don't. All of this bricks paved with, streets paved with bricks of gold is psychology. That's all it is. It's never going to happen. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to say Ashe and have a great day. I think I made this a little bit longer than I wanted to, but we're going to go with this. Happy New Year.